Hello everybody. So as you have seen in my last session, like we have did SAP GUI installation. So today we are going to see some other post installation activities. So after the GUI installation, the first important installation is you have to check whether your installation was done successfully or not. Okay, so how you are going to see this one? So first you need to log into, okay, now you have logged into DDFE, and the password is nothing but the password which you have given during the installation. The first step it asks, right, the password. That password you need to provide here, okay? And so you are now in SAP, okay? So now you have to check whether your SAP installation was done successfully or not. It will show the message, but even though for your convenience, like if you want to see, then you can SICK is the transaction code where you can see whether the installation was done successfully or not. Just hit enter and it will take you to the screen saying that SAP system check and there are no errors reported. So basically there are two transaction codes which usually shows you whether your installation was done successfully or not. So this is one, and one more is if you go /n, it will take you to the main screen. SM28 is one more transaction code. The same thing what we did just now with SICK. So this is first important post installation activities that you need to check. What are the transaction code you are using? You are using SICK and you are using SM28. The second thing is that you need to create the users. Okay, you have to create the user or copy DDIC. Why I am telling this one of the post installation important activities means when you, so DDIC is only and SAP starts the user. Okay, for example, if you forget that password going forward, or if you wrongly hit 3 times, you know what happened? Your SAP user will be locked and you need to again uninstall and you need to again install the SAP. So there are so many problems. So to avoid this kind of situations, you need to create a copy of that user. How are you going to create a copy of that user? So there is a transaction code SU01, okay, which will be going to learn in our user administration topic, okay. So just we need to create a copy of the user of DDIC. So just SU01 is enter. It will take you to the SU01 screen. Here you need to copy that user. So how we are going to copy which user? Or say we will create one dummy user, okay, a test user, okay. We will create one test user so that if you forget DDIC user, we can log in with the test user. Okay. So right, give the username and there is an icon which is say copy. Click on that copy and it says like from which user to user you want to copy. So from what you will give here DDIC. So from DDIC you are copying to the new user which is your test user. So it will copy all those parts, okay, and say copy. So these are the things I'm going to show in our user administration topic, okay, not here. So here you have to give the password, okay. So I will give the password as password only, password, and I will just say okay. So once you click on save, that means your user test has been created. Okay, so this is how we have created a user of DDIC. Now this is the second post installation activity, okay. And third, we have to import profile parameters. How are you going to import profile parameters? Using RZ10 transaction. So this we have used the transaction 01. And importing profile parameters, because when you install the SAP, your profile parameters will be stored at the OS level, right? But you have to import those parameters into SAP parental level. How are you going to import those profile parameters? You have to go to RG10 transaction and hit enter, and then here you have to go to utilities. If you see there is a utilities icon, utilities, and import profiles of active servers. Once you click on that one, what it will do, it will pull all the parameters from your OS level and it will import into your front-end SAP server. Now if you go back and see extend maintenance, click on extend maintenance and select here your instance profile. So this profile chapter is again your one more new topic. Okay, so there are sessions which I'm going to cover all those things. Okay, since these are the post installation activities, I'm not going in depth of those things. Just these are the installation that you have. Once the installation is done, you have to do this. And if you see display, it will show all your parameters which SAP has created during the installation. So you can see how many dialogues, how many background and enqueue and the update process of it. Okay, so I hope you are clear with this profile parameters post installation activity. Now another important thing, you need to install the license. So since here you have predefined software, so you got the license of 3 months, but in a real time when you go to the company, how are you going to install the license? Okay, so you have to go with the transaction code S license. So if you go back and S license, okay, so here you can see your validity is up to so that 3 months. So here this is very important. I mean, like the installation, how you are getting that file. You will be getting that file from the SAP service marketplace. So from the service marketplace, you will get that SAP. SAP will send the file to you, and you have to copy that file and you have to install here. So how to do that SAP S license, I will show you in your next in a separate session. Okay, so this is just a post installation activities. That's why this is very important that you need to know about the post installation activities. Okay, so now once this is done, the next thing is that you need to run the SGen. What is SGen? SGen is nothing but it loads all the objects. I mean, like initially after the installation, when you will go and start any transaction, it will take a time. I mean, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, depend on your hardware. But once you run the SGen, what it will do, it will immediately log in. Once you enter the transaction, it will enter within a second. Okay, so this is why we run the SGen. So the concept of SGen is, let me go /n, go to the main screen, and I'm going to SGen. So once you click on enter, so it's taking some time because doing first time it will take a minute. Okay, so here you have to check generate all objects of selected software components, and then you have to continue. Okay, so you can see here by default there are some software components. Okay, so you select all those software components and say continue. Once you hit continue, it will take like about 4 or 5 hours to complete those activities. So if you continue this one, so it will take around 4 to 5 hours to complete those activities. So that's why I'm not going to do now, but you have in a company, you have to do this activity. Okay, when you are doing the post installation activities. So this is one of the post installation activities, SGen. And transport management system. Transport management system is one of the topic which I will be going to cover in our course, and the transaction code is HTML. When I'm talking about transport management system, it comes that, let me go back to /n. because I said like in a company when you go, you will find many systems, 3 systems or more than that, right? So now we have development, quality and production system. But development is where you will be doing the customization. So you have to include other systems into this development systems, because how you are going to transport, right? All the customization is going under this development system. So once the customization is done, you have to export this transport to the quality, right? So how are you going to do that? So you have to create a domain controller. Then you have to create a domain controller. For that you have to go to transaction HTML. If you hit enter, it will take you to the domain controller. It will ask whether you want to make a domain controller for this system. You have to say yes, because development system is where you will be creating a domain controller, and other systems you need to include in the domain controller. So this is one of the important activity for the post installation activity. So since we are logging first time, so see how much time it's taking. So if you run the SGN, it will go very quickly. It won't take that much of time. And when it runs, I will. So this is you have to create a domain controller. This is one of the activity, and I said like you have to create the users, you have to import profile parameters, and you have to install the license. Okay, SGN transport, and last thing is the backup. So this is very important. Backup is like once your SAP is done successfully, you have to take the backup. For example, once the activity has been started, everybody is working, or due to some reason like power failure or something just happens, then you have to restore. So for that, we need to have the backup of a fresh installation. So once you did installation, then you need to have a backup in case if anything happens. What happened? Like you can restore the previous version, previous backup. So this is very, very important. So I hope you understood the post installation activities, like whatever I showed here, and you have to do after the installation. Okay, so as you see here, it says like you are logging to domain controller. It automatically took the domain underscore NSP. But in company, you have, if it's not there, then you have to write domain underscore. If your SID is DEV, you have to mention DEV. If your SID is QoS, you have to mention QoS. Okay. So once you are logging to domain controller, you have to add other systems. So how are you going to those things? You will be learning in the transport management system, which is a separate session. So thank you so much for attending this session. So I hope you understood the post installation activities. So thank you so much. In our next session, we will be going to learn more about the work processes. Okay.